The role of the Doctor on Doctor Who was once held in such high regard that it was a British institution. He was an iconic character that almost every male British actor wanted to play. It was a role that was just guaranteed to make your acting career and turn you into a household name, adored by millions of fans the world over. And forevermore, you would be associated with that role. It had become a kind of national privilege for an actor, as much as an opportunity, a particularly important British icon. Young actors saw it as a way to make a name for themselves. Older, more established actors may have wanted it because they were Whovians as children, and it had become a lifelong ambition to play the Doctor. It had a status as a science fiction role, and the buzz and the anticipation about the casting of a new Doctor was something of a tradition. Much like the casting of a new James Bond. Two very different roles, but both British male lead characters that were really highly coveted. And now look. I spoke about this Sun article before. Out of time, hit TV show's Christmas special could be scrapped because bosses can't find anyone to play lead character. The Doctor Who Christmas special may be scrapped as show bosses cannot find anyone to play the Time Lord. The most recent series ended last May with star Ncuti Gatwa leaving amid viewers' anger at woke storylines. And that's where we are now. There's a very good chance that the 2026 Doctor Who Christmas special will be cancelled and pushed back to Easter of 2027, so an Easter special instead. Actors no longer see Doctor Who as the must-have role they once did. The role has become associated with unpopular and divisive identity politics rather than clever storytelling and good science fiction and just good family entertainment. From a role that was considered an honour for a British actor, an accolade to play, to a role that's something many actors would now prefer to avoid. A pariah role, if you will. That's quite a change in such a short period of time. It's only really been a few years. And the issue really is that some of us were warning about the show's eventual decline way back during the latter half of the 12th Doctor's era, when the feminist stuff started to creep in. And then, of course, they made the Doctor a woman with the 13th Doctor. And when some of us pointed out that this was a symptom of the woke agenda at that time, we were laughed at and derided by a very vocal subset of the fandom who explained this move away with in-universe explanations, right? The Time Lords can now change sex. It's been established with the Master. The Master became Missy, and so therefore you can have a female Doctor. And they couldn't or didn't care to see that what was actually happening here was that the only reason that change was made to canon during the 12th Doctor's era was to set up the Doctor becoming a woman with the 13th Doctor. And that was only done because of the identity politics of the time, of that era. So yeah, at that stage, I was kind of fed up of receiving all of this vitriol. And so when it came to Doctor Who, I stepped back. I stepped back and I just watched, knowing full well that vindication was coming eventually. So I bit my tongue and I said very little over the subsequent years. Of course, progressivism never stops. That's the whole point of so-called, quote-unquote, progress, right? It's a slippery slope and a steep decline. Storytelling is secondary to the message. And so, of course, the Doctor would regenerate into a black gay man. Of course, the stories would become more stunning and brave, and shockingly, this alienated audiences further and resulted in the lowest ratings of the franchise's 60-year history. The show was cancelled after 2 seasons of the 15th Doctor's run, when 3 seasons had been planned. So if anyone ever asks, how did we get here? How did things get so bad for Doctor Who? Yeah, some of us were telling you where the show was headed quite a few years ago. But we weren't listened to. Whether it was the 12th Doctor being told by River Song, are you thinking? Stop it. You're a man. It's weird. Clara describing testosterone as unbearable, or this Time Lord character having regenerated from a man into a woman asking how do men cope with all that ego, or the Master asking, is the future going to be all girl? And the Doctor replying, we can only hope. Or explaining to his lesbian companion how Time Lords have moved on from humanity's concepts of gender, or Regency London being made to look diverse, or the 13th Doctor describing her becoming a woman as an upgrade, or the 14th Doctor being corrected about his usage of a character's pronouns. The toxicity of woke had well and truly taken hold of Doctor Who. Doctor Who as a brand is so badly damaged now that the BBC has managed to alienate hardcore fans and most casual viewers of the show, and many parents don't want their kids watching it. And so what's the point of even trying to do a Christmas special at this stage? Episode after episode of the past few years has shown gradual and consistent decline in ratings. Viewership has been in freefall. This is why few actors care to take on such a role now. The only way to maybe recover the show would be a long hiatus. I mean, assuming that would even repair the show's reputational damage at this stage, I don't know. The show has been cancelled, so what's the rush to bring it back for a special? What do they think that's going to accomplish? Because fundamentally, I have to ask the question, what do they think has happened? What do they think has changed since the last episode aired and this upcoming special? You know, what exactly has occurred that's going to bring audiences back in droves? Well, simply nothing has happened. They haven't given audiences a reason to come back. There's a lingering bad taste in the mouths of millions of Doctor Who fans the world over. And you can do a Christmas special, or you can push it back to an Easter special, but you can expect the same results. Low ratings and general apathy. Because the trust is gone. Audience trust is gone. And it's a very, very difficult thing to get back. And I have no sympathy. That is the legacy of a decade of Doctor Who being turned into a woke shell of its former self. A once highly prized role, now reduced to something to be avoided. It may have taken longer to reach this point than I first thought it would back in about 2016, but we got there in the end. Here we are now, and this is the absolute state of Doctor Who. They're struggling to get an actor to play the role. What other way was this ever going to go? All right, then, I'm going to wrap it up there. Thank you very much for watching this video. If you haven't already, please subscribe to the channel, hit that notification bell to be notified of future updates, and share the video out there. Take care. I shall see you in the next one. Bye-bye.